Hello, I'm Redstone, and this is an extension of SethBling's nearly undetectable trap. As you can see, there's no logical way of me knowing that there's a trap in front of me, but if I just walk... What just happened? All the ground is suddenly gone, there's nothing left, just air, and I fall straight down into lava. I can go very slowly, stand on this, but in a couple seconds that's gone as well. So I can also go at the edge. Nope. The only way you can skip the trap is by jumping over it, but nobody's gonna know where the trap is unless they've seen it before. So let me show you. I can jump across it. There, no problem. But if you have triggered the trap, no way, you can't escape that. The only way I can think of is by throwing an ender pearl, but you would need to react within a fraction of a second to do so. The redstone behind this is pretty big, but it's not too big for what it does. It's only 3 blocks by 22 blocks by 6 blocks high, and that's only because of these 3 redstone here. I will explain you how this all works, and I'll also show you how to build it in your survival world. So if you're only interested in building it and don't wanna know how it works, just click the very annoying box and you'll skip the explanation. Let's see the trap in action from a few different angles. As you probably have noticed already, this is using redstone ore blocks. And redstone ore blocks, when they are right-clicked on or stepped on, they start glowing, which causes a block update. Below the redstone ore there is a bod array, a bunch of pistons that are powered right now by the redstone blocks next to them, but they are retracted. And they need a block update to check if they should be extended or not, and they realize they should be extended, so they extend, and that's basically how we detect that the redstone ore has triggered. When any of these pistons extend, so any of the redstone ore is triggered, this redstone block is gonna be pushed to here. So this piston immediately retracts. That actually happens at the same moment as the player steps on the redstone ore, and there's a sign on this piston that also just breaks immediately, and all the signs that are on this sign also break. So to here, all of these signs are basically on top of this piston. So when the piston retracts, all the signs break, all the carpet that's on top of the signs also breaks, and that's how most of the floor is removed. You can extend this further as far as you want, but after 5 blocks it's really pointless because it's impossible to jump 5 blocks. There's another sign chain on the other side, also starts right here at the same sign, so destroy it as the piston retracts, but goes around and to all of these signs here to get rid of the other half of the carpet. Also, when this is pushed to here, it triggers all of this redstone, and first of all, this doesn't trigger because it's next to a half slab that doesn't power the piston. It powers this thing up here. This piston basically destroys the redstone, but also blocks the redstone block from moving another space forward. Like if this piston is triggered, then it's gonna push the entire row forward, and for example this piston will be here, still next to a redstone block, and it would extend as well, and this redstone block would be pushed 2 spaces forward, and we don't want it to be pushed 2 spaces forward because that would affect this thing later. A piston can't push an extended piston, so as this is extended it blocks the rest of the pistons from extending. This wire also goes down here to a bunch of repeaters, and that basically extends these 4 pistons, and they push this entire row of blocks 4 blocks that way. The last piston is, by the way, triggered by the redstone block, which is supposed to be here. That brings these 4 redstone blocks below these 4 pistons, and the carpet ends up on top of these signs here, and this block ends up right here. When these 4 redstone blocks are out of the way, that means these pistons are not powered anymore, so they are retracted and they can be pushed, which is actually triggered by the redstone blocks themselves. When they reach up to here, this repeater is powered by the first redstone block. That first of all powers all of these pistons up here, which push the redstone blocks down so they don't mess things up, but also powers this double quadruple piston extender to push all of these carpets in the place where these things were, and that actually messes up the things back here a lot. It breaks all the redstone and whatnot. Also, this redstone block ends up at this piston, so the piston finally gets powered and pushes this down, this one retracts, and all of the signs down here are deleted, just pop off, and so does all the carpet stacked on top, up to the one that's right now on top of the redstone ore. To build this, you will need a bunch of signs, a bunch of carpet, it can be any color you want, a bunch of blocks, any material you want as well, and 8 slabs, any material that has slabs of course, 24 regular pistons, 7 redstone repeaters, 25 redstone, 6 redstone blocks, and 4 redstone ore that you can get using Silk Touch. This does not include what you are dropping players into. You can drop them into lava pits, onto hoppers, or anything else your evil heart desires. I will now show you how to build a floating version of this. If your corridor is actually an underground tunnel, please click the very annoying box. Build 2 3x8 platforms on each side, and namely 2 blocks, 2 air spaces below the floor here. This should help you visualize where to place the platforms, although your corridor probably has blocks here. Choose one of the platforms and build these 3 blocks. Then on the next layer do the inverted thing, like this, and without the blocks in between. In the gaps put repeaters facing that direction towards the path, and the first one needs to be set to 2 ticks. Now block on the side, block on top, half slab, half slab, half slab, all upside down, don't need this anymore, and your pistons will go here. 4 layers of pistons. Now below the pistons you will need 2 more blocks, repeater, redstone, and then at the top of the pistons where the half slabs end, more half slabs, and 4 more pistons on top of that. Now climb up here, 4 more blocks on the floor there, 3 and, oh, need to go down here. Carpet on top of the blocks, carpet on top of carpet. Now 3 more blocks on top of these pistons, and now just place redstone everywhere you can. My bad, you should probably have connected these 2 platforms so you can walk here. Turn around, go to this corner and block, space, space, redstone block, piston, sign, sign on sign, sign on sign on sign, sign on sign on sign on sign. Then go 2 signs to the side and start placing on these 2, and namely 3 signs on each of them. Oh, my mouse is getting very low. It's gonna fall off the table. Yeah, I managed to do it. Now right in the middle you wanna replace the floor here with redstone ore blocks. You can hold shift so you won't activate them by right clicking, and you probably wanna dig this right out because it's gonna be signs at the end anyway. And on the other side as well. Like 5 blocks far we figured out, it's pretty good because players can't jump that far. How far is that? No, that's 4. That's 5. Now below the redstone blocks of course go the pistons, again hold shift so I want to activate the redstone ore blocks. 4 pistons, then a block, a redstone block and an unmovable block. You can place a furnace here, a chest, or just a piston or obsidian or something. This is temporary, but it is very important. Now go across here, and on this face of the redstone block place a piston. Now place a sign on top of the piston, and then sign on sign, sign on sign on sign, sign on sign on sign on sign, and so on and so forth. And then you want to extend this sideways. I want to do this on camera because it's pretty long. Extend it up to here and do this for all 4 rows. Then go around here and start that other chain of signs, then to the side and to the side and further, and now this way, same as at the other side. So I did that. Now on this side, pillar up like this. Don't need those blocks anymore. And where did I put my half slabs? There they are. Here, and don't need that anymore. And block another half slab and a downward facing piston. Then climb up to the top, place another block on top, and backwards redstone, repeater, redstone, 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 redstone. You wanna continue this, but it goes kinda in the ground. I'm gonna do that because at the end you will remove this platform, and this is one of the rare blocks that you wanna keep together with this one and this one. On these 2 blocks put repeaters on 2 ticks and 1 tick, and between them blocks, and then just extend blocks up to the signs. Now before I forget about it, there needs to be a piston right here. Now cover that up using blocks and put redstone on top of that. And finally this row here is piston, 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 block, carpet, 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 carpet. This is very close to finish now. You wanna get back inside, and now don't activate the redstone ore, although it's not rigged yet and it doesn't work yet, so it wouldn't really do anything. You just want it off for now. And now place your redstone blocks down there. And now the pistons are powered. The only thing that's keeping them from extending is that unmovable block right there. And you probably don't want to remove that yet, because we have the carpet to place on top. You can place it by clicking on the side of that, or on the side of other carpet, or on top of signs even. And to place it on the redstone ore, I recommend just shift clicking on the redstone ore. After this has been covered, it's time to rig the trap by breaking that unmovable block that was keeping it from activating. And now this might be very confusing, but if I walk on this, it doesn't work. Even though I've built it exactly correctly, this is the same thing as that, but it still didn't work. It turns out that whether it works or not depends on where in the world you build it, like at which coordinates. And from my testing it works about 50% of the time, and the other 50% this piston will block those pistons from extending for the final time. Sadly, I realized that after recording the entire tutorial, so this might be a bit weird, but you can fix it with an extra piston, and you'll need to move these 3 things. Change what's been up here to an upward spacing piston with a block and redstone on top, and then a repeater here. And with that change done, it should work at any coordinates and in any orientation. To build this trap in an underground tunnel, you will first need to dig out an area like this, as you see in front of me right here. The pit can go as deep as you want. It goes 5 blocks to each side of this tunnel here. This tunnel itself is 9 blocks long and 5 blocks high. The floor starts at, well, the floor is 3 blocks below this floor here, and the floor of this tunnel is 2 blocks below this floor. The smaller tunnel is just as well 9 blocks long, and on this side, as you can see, there's an additional layer of blocks compared to this tunnel, which makes it 1 block narrower. So I want to start out in the smaller tunnel and namely dig this out. What you see me digging right here. Then place repeaters on the floor here, and this one needs to be on 2 ticks, and redstone on the rest of this, in the rest of the holes. Correction, also break these 3 blocks. Now place a block right here at the end, and 1, 2, 3 half slabs, 2 half slabs above, repeater, redstone below, repeater 1 tick, and then 4 blocks above here and 1 on the ceiling. Now very importantly, dig out these 4 blocks here, go in and place 4 pistons on above yourself, then parkour, jump up here and place redstone on everything all around here, then going back down and placing 8 pistons and 8 carpet. And that's pretty much this side finished, so cover it up, except for this, don't cover that. And time to go to the other side. Now here, the 4th block from the wall, dig down and piston right above your head. It's very important to leave this air here, and another piston goes right here. Now in the corner, a block, another block, a half slab diagonally to it, and then an upward spacing piston, block, and block on each of these 2 pistons. Then here squeeze in a repeater on 1 tick, redstone here on top, redstone, 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 redstone. Then over here, a bunch of blocks up to where there's this piston above, and place redstone on all of these. Now block, repeater, block, repeater, this one needs to be on 2 ticks by the way, and another block, and then basic blocks up to here. And on top of this you will place piston, 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 block, carpet, 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 carpet. Now back here, a redstone block and a piston, and start placing signs on this. 4 signs, then this scaffolding is not at the correct height, we want it here. 2 signs to the side of that, and then just basically signs, signs, signs up to here, and same on this one. Just sign on sign, sign on sign on sign up to here, and we don't need the scaffolding anymore. Above the signs you wanna place piston, 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 block, redstone block, then a temporary piston to the side here, and another piston here. Whoa, this didn't push me off, interesting. Anyway, you need some more scaffolding, obviously. And sign on top of this, nope, on top of the piston arm, there. Extend signs up to the opposite wall, and probably wanna move this scaffolding up a bit. Also we need some here. Now on each of these signs place a row of signs spreading off to the side up to this wall here. Alright, now remove the scaffolding like that, jump on top of the pistons, and now signs to the side of this, sign here, or rather 4 signs on top of each other, or on the side of each other. scaffolding is not going to be possible there, so let's do it like that. And basically the same thing as we did over there. There we go. Again, remove the scaffolding. Now we want to put 4 redstone blocks here, 4 redstone ore blocks on top of here. Again, holding shift will prevent you from activating the redstone ore by walking on it or right clicking on it, so keep that in mind. Hold shift, it won't prevent you from activating it though if you jump on it, so you'll have to kind of jump on it very slightly, so you're not actually on top of the block. Now cover everything with carpet. You can place it on the walls and then you can walk on it to reach other places, like over here. Also we can cover this up so it's easier to place carpet now, but one space we need to leave because there's something else to do in there later. And the rest of the carpet is kind of difficult to place because you need to place it on the edge of other carpet or on top of signs. There we go, I did that. Again, hold shift so you don't activate the redstone ore. And now you remove this unmovable block and jump on that very carefully so you don't activate it, because now the trap is active. Covered it up, and now it basically works. Let's see. So this didn't work because I made a mistake. I will now record the correction clip that you have already seen, so if you did that, yours should work. And that's about all you need to know about this trap. Just make sure you don't fall in it yourself.